we go. Hello and welcome. Great. Here we go. Welcome to Painting Happy Little Minis. My name is Leona. I'm here with Jeff and also Jeff. And who's over here? Is it Steve? Who knows? Or is it his mini?
How you doing?
We're here painting. We're working on miniatures. Hobby Hangout version where we're in our respective places, but also working on our mini painting projects. So hello, good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
Good.
Great.
Doing well.
Good stuff. And for those in the chat, you might be watching and wondering, is Dave here or is it Mr. Slanesh, guard knight?
It's not so mini though.
It's Dave. It's not a mini. It's a giant.
Finished. It's almost like I got like 2 or 3 hours to go and it's done.
Nice. So you think you'll finish it on the show?
No.
Okay.
No. I will, however, take photos once it's done and put it up in the group. So.
Okay. Cool. Very good. Very good. So as you might know, we have a special guest with us, Jeff, aka RogueShader. Thank you for joining.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Of course. How are you this evening?
Fantastic. I even cheated and put some base colors on my model last night so people don't have to watch me do boring stuff.
Hey!
They want you to do the exciting stuff.
People just still boring. Very arduous and slow.
Fantastic.
They can just watch me do boring stuff, which is repaint my polar bear. I found these cool owl bear colors online that I'm just gonna paint it a bright owl bear color because snowing owl bears are difficult.
They are indeed.
Which is good stuff.
That's cool.
Real quick, I just want to say hi to some people who are watching. Hello, Lucafio. Hello to James, Jason, Josh, Jake English. Hello. I'm getting to catch this one. Yay! Glad you could stop by. And also Mark. Hello. Thanks for joining. Let us know what you guys are painting, if you're painting anything at all. I guess we should jump in. And Jeff, if you want to talk about a little bit what you're painting tonight.
Yeah. So as Dave well knows, I have a project coming up that is going to require a lot of sort of repetitive army style painting of a lot of skeletons, and yeah, he may know exactly what is coming up for me.
I was going to say, I think actually Dave talked about it last week
so,
on our show.
So, stuff is getting sort of like airlifted in right now from the male goblins, and so since that's going to be a lot of sort of repetitive army stuff, I'm doing like a quick little. Oh, Dave's already got his stuff assembled. All my stuff is literally still in a box. But at least I know what's going to get painted, so that's a start. And so because of that, I'm doing just a little palette cleanser project. So I just last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, something like that. I'll switch my cam here. I got my backer stuff from the Big Shadow Creatives Echoes of Camelot Kickstarter, which is a bunch of Knights of the Round Table, King Arthur themed stuff. The model I actually got was like the 75mm Uther Pendragon. It's really cool in all this armor, but that's a long project. So one of the stretch goals that was unlocked was this 35mm version of the Sorte model. So I'm going to paint him up real quick, and I base coated him all last night and did the eyes, really the eye, because the other one's under his hair, just because I don't think I can curse on this show, so I didn't want to do eyes live on camera. And
I was wondering what you meant by that. Earlier you said eyes are not PG-13, and I was like,
yeah, there's a lot of expletives.
But now I understand.
I mean, we all have them.
Yeah. Yeah, transferring them to a really tiny little foot there, you can kind of see that there's an eye in there, but it's very difficult. So other than that, in the base coat, then I just kept painting, and I started like working on the white on the cloth. So I'm going to start working on his armor and stuff. Right?
Nice.
See how fast I can get him done.
Yay!
Very cool. And yes, Josh, they do dance wherever they're able.
Yeah.
that is in fact true. Although I got to tell you, the artwork for this one, the original box art was painted. First of all, I'm looking at it right now, and the original box art was painted A, in 75 millimeters, not in 35 millimeter scale,
Right.
and B, by Ruben Martinez. So if you're not familiar with Ruben's work, go and look him up. He's like unbelievable. And so I'm staring at his version and just looking at I know mine is going to look like, and it's not going to look anything like his version, but still, you gotta push, I guess, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's true.
That's cool. But it is a reason to always give all of your models a different color scheme to what's on the box.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So that you never have to compare.
I didn't think about doing that. I was sort of doing the same thing or something similar, and that may not work out well.
Cool.
And since Jeff has this fancy setup, I'm thinking first, some of the show we can just have it on this close cam, because yes, it's great. Jake says, "I'm sure Jeff is going to kill that model."
I appreciate that, Jake.
In a good way.
you're a good man. Jake is also a very talented painter.
Also, so Dave, what are you? You said you're going to be still painting up your night.
Yep, I basically have the crew to paint.
Okay.
So I have almost finished the little missile servitor.
Cool.
So he's there with his 2 enormous gold missiles. I figured that
gold because of Slanesh.
Because it's excessive.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Just making sure.
If anybody was gonna what would you want to make them out of? Gold.
Extra gold.
Extra gold.
For no good reason.
No, for no reason. So that's very Slaneshy.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel it.
Yep. And then there's the my Dark Mechanicus guy.
Oh, nice.
So
he's awesome.
The one thing that was kind of funny, I normally if I was doing a Mechanicus guy, he'd be in reds or blacks or whites, that kind of some mix of that.
Okay.
But because this guy isn't is Dark Mechanicus, he's evil, he's turned to the powers of chaos. I was able to go with something that was more fitting for the overall color scheme of the knight. So I have a lot of fabric in purple, so he's got robes in purple.
Gotcha.
And then one of my friends, Chris, or actually a mutual friend of mine, and Jess, Chris suggested a yellow, like a pale yellow. I'm that for the hood and the cool crazy hat that he has. So that should be fun.
Nice.
This guy knows what he's talking about.
That Chris guy does. He's only won 4 Slayer swords.
Yeah, we keep trying to make it 5 though.
Yeah.
Look at the peacock feathers, sort of, whatever they are, metal.
So cool.
So,
I really love that. Yeah.
So I've got hers, and because I have some sort of bluish, greenish sort of colors on the knight itself, coming from that the coal black.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I decided to go with more of a teal kind of look on the external robes of this one, which will give a nice sort of break between the purple of our under robes there and the pinks and purples of the feathers. I think on the end of those, I'm going to paint gold in those little eyes.
Because
you gotta. Yeah.
Appropriate.
And then finally, there is the guy. I have the pilot there. So he sits up the back on his throne.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Lovely pale sweatpants on.
Yeah.
Pale sweatpants. That's just my outfit these days. Lovely pale sweatpants. I'm gonna market them.
He has his pandemic pants on. So.
Yep.
That's awesome. It's just his pandemic look.
Yeah. But I started with a lot of purple in the undertones for his skin.
Okay.
So it balances nicely against that yellow.
And is there just like purple on his toes? Do they like just
Oh, actually, I also
paint up to purple, or?
I did also paint his toenails and his fingernails.
Okay.
Because I figured again, Slanesh.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
And the so the teal there on his sort of loincloth matches the teal on the robes for this one. So I have three models there on the go.
Nice.
and once they're all done, I can glue them down. The carrying case arrived this morning from KR Multicase. So next week I'll be able to ship it out to the Nova Open Charitable Foundation, which will be super cool.
That's awesome.
Woohoo!
Exciting. Yay.
Also, I wanted to say hello to Tim. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Tim.
Hello, Tim.
And Mark says, congrats on the Kickstarter, Dave.
Cool. Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah. Woohoo.
Yep.
Clap, 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 clap.
I think we talked about it briefly last week. It ended up really well. I am going through the fun part of putting the pledge manager together. That's almost sorted. This is the first time I'm working with weights and setting up weights for like 6 different shipping regions. So it's all fun. Behind the scenes stuff is great. Great. And then next Tuesday, I have a meeting with somebody in the UK who's going to help me with getting my VAT sorted.
Oh, right.
Oh, yes.
The UK and for the EU.
We talked about that. Yes.
Got to add that value.
Yeah. So, but thankfully, turns out in the UK that books have
Little added value.
they have little added value. They have 0 VAT. So although I need to be registered for it and pay for that registration and pay for the filing each month, I don't actually have to pay any VAT.
That's a start.
So.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Okay. That's good.
Jeff.
Yo.
Yeah. If you're able to paint around that area.
Yeah, just put over here.
Yeah. Moving around a bit.
What if I'm working on his foot?
You can't you got to move your lamp.
You can't work on his foot. Okay.
You just put an X where your hand needs to
I know,
be.
I should.
Just paint it. Josh Potter says Dave's new hobby is logistics.
It's always been a passion of mine. You know how when you grow up and you're playing toy soldiers and everyone wants to be the general?
Yep.
Quartermaster.
There you go.
Yep. No, not at all. It is terribly, terribly boring.
Also, I wanted to say hello to Roger Moore. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Roger.
Hello, Roger.
And also Chris Cox.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Oh, hey, Chris.
And for anyone else who might be just joining us, thanks for joining. Let us know what you guys are working on, if anything at all. I think Jason said, I'm cutting my kid's hair currently. But
Okay.
in regards to that's good. In regards to paint, working on the second Wiz Kids Magnus from the blister pack.
Cool.
Magus.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
How dare you?
That's fine.
There's a character in a book that's called Magnus. Anyway, the way he painted it reminded me of that character.
All right.
Jake says that 32 millimeter is still a pretty good size, actually.
Yeah, he's still.
Maybe I should have gotten some myself. I got the 75 Horsey, and oh boy, he's going to be a project.
Yeah, I got to tell you, even this 30, 35 or whatever he's at is is going to end up being a project. And I got to tell you, like, it looks like a really simple model until you kind of get into it, and then you're like, oh. And most of the details translated down pretty well to this scale, but it's still a challenge to make some of this stuff read sculpt wise. The full size sculpt is, I'm looking at this, I'm like, oh, there's just no way I can like even attempt to paint it part of that way, because the details just aren't there. The resolution just isn't there.
Right.
But yeah, great sculpts. I don't know who did the sculpt. That painter, I should know. But
I'm not sure either.
they are fantastic. I'm sure I think they were different ones.
Oh, different sculptors?
I think so.
Right.
But yeah, this guy's just going to be a short project. I'm not going to let him turn into a long one.
Cool. Because you've got skeletons to paint, right?
Yeah, I've got
And vampires?
40 skeletons and
Yep.
20 vampires or something like that. of various types.
over the
Just
time,
a mini project.
we've been talking a lot about the Vampire Army project. So it's
Gonna be cool.
going to look great.
It's gonna look great.
It's gonna be awesome.
Indeed. So, definitely good.
Chris.
Yep, I was about to say.
Yep, no problem. Gotcha.
Chris says he's working on reorganizing his paint box because he's got a new, bigger one. Been working on a Monpoc lately for himself and friends.
Oh.
That's pretty cool. We'll be, I think, are we going to be back in the studio next week?
Ooh.
Yes,
I think
we are actually.
Hooray! But I do have to ask
Fun.
Chris if his paint box looks like this.
I already know what Dave's paint box looks like.
Does your paint box look like Amazon? Sponsored by Amazon?
Excellent. Jake English says he's also working. Also, I'm still working on unpacking from my move last weekend. In the meantime, I've been working on building more Lunar Wolves.
Oh.
Project. Very cool. Yes. I think if I'd moved last weekend, it would probably take me like 2 weeks to get everything unpacked and find everything.
That'd take me longer than that, man.
No.
I'm like a hoarder.
Yep.
Especially of hobby stuff. There's no way I would be able to find anything.
Yep.
I'm just thinking about Dave's shelf of opportunity.
Yeah.
Basement.
I'm thinking about the box that Dave
Basement.
keeps his paints in.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not even moving anywhere. That's under like normal circumstances.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Crazy. But I'll get there. It'll all work out in the end. But Chris says that his paint box does not look like mine.
Good.
Yeah. Definitely good for him.
Hello, Alan, who
Hey,
says, hello, beings of talent and culture.
Hello.
Hello, welcome.
Okay, so Jeff's obviously the talent and Leona is the culture. Where do I fall?
So what's Dave have to offer in this equation?
Yep. I get to be the being.
You're the being. The beings of.
Nice. Excellent. That's good. What are you working on, Alan? Are you painting anything at the moment? I'm not sure.
You can kind of see from my camera. I just have a very bad camera, but I'm repainting Mr. Snow Bear.
Snowy Owlbear.
Snowy Owl Bear. It's like a brown right now. It's like a mauve color.
Okay.
And yeah, I just did that because I want to change it.
We'll switch it up.
So I do have like a reference that I'm working from.
Can you show the reference?
Yes, sorry, I was just getting that.
Okay.
So I'm working from that pink one. I kind of want it to look like that.
Okay. Cool.
Because I was not really sure how to make the white be any different. And I think this one will at least give me the chance to practice.
Sure.
Some like highlighting here, and then like how there's it's a two-tone on the chest part compared to the rest of the body. So that's what I'm working on right now.
Excellent.
And I think I'll be a lot happier with how he's going to come. And I'm going to try and make it look more pink. It was more that I wanted to start off with the darker color so that then I could put more colors on top of it.
Okay.
I don't know if that's really how you're supposed to do it.
However, it works.
Okay.
That's the way you do it. Yeah. Yeah. But that's the great thing, of course, about miniatures. If you don't like what you painted, just paint something over it.
Yep.
Yes. And like last week, I decided that I should do that.
Right.
About like halfway through, I was like, I'm not even going to touch this owl bear, and I'm just going to paint over it.
That's good. That's the way to do it. Cool.
Apparently, Lucafio was moving too because he said, "I envy both of you. I'm still in the packing up stage."
Yep, I think he said a few weeks ago that he was moving to the East Coast.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah.
Moving away from all that California sunshine.
That seems like a
bad move.
Yeah, I'm not sure that I would go that direction.
Possible.
James says, "I'm working setting up a paint table."
Cool.
That's
Excellent.
cool. Oh, and Alan has just finished a first company Ultramarine Terminator army.
Oh, excellent. A whole army of Terminators? Very cool. They look nice. Have to post some pics in the Painting Happy Little Minis group, Alan. That'd be cool.
It's going to take a bit, but I can squeeze in some painting this weekend. Yeah, to unpack fully. That makes sense.
Yeah, I think, yeah, also, I mean, if you use painting as your, like, stress relief, obviously moving is incredibly stressful.
Yeah.
So, yeah, taking a few hours out here and there to do some painting, it's got to be beneficial, right?
Yeah.
Nice.
Josh Potter says, in my honest opinion, packing might be the easy part. It's the loading and unloading that stuff. But unboxing is great. Every day is like Christmas. Unless you're bad at packing and then it's like a mess and you're like, unboxing is terrible.
It's a nightmare. What's that? My wife is a wonderful lady. I love her to bits. She suffers from sort of volumetric issues, where packing things in to make the most of the space
Okay.
isn't her forte.
Gotcha.
So thankfully we haven't moved since we moved into this house like 17 years ago. But I think it could be a little bit of a nightmare that if I just let her loose, there'd be lots of empty space.
I was going to say, would there just be lots of boxes or something?
We'd be,
Okay.
we'd be using twice as many boxes as we need to, I think.
Gotcha. Okay. Also, I'm going to put the link to the group in the chat in case Alan isn't familiar with that. Alan, I just put a link in the chat for the Facebook group where people were talking about posting a pic because Jake says, please do. All Terminator army sounds cool. Sick. Cool. Whatever. Hello, Wyatt. Thanks for joining.
Oh, cool.
How are you?
Very cool. But, what section are you working on at the moment, Jeff?
Just working on the volumes on the armor, trying to get them to look as shiny and metallic as I want, and then I'll probably move on to, I don't know, maybe the leather, or there's a lot of little gold trim on this armor too that I'll probably have to do. So.
Now, are you using metallics?
No, this is just right now. I'm just working in just shades of gray.
Okay.
50 of them. No, just kidding. That was a really bad joke. That was like a bad joke. Jeez.
That was like really, really, really bad.
Really bad. Working German gray and pale gray blue.
Okay.
In just sort of.
And we can see the gradient on your thumb.
Yeah, there's different shades here, and then I'll figure out where I want to like warm it up and cool it down with some yellows in the highlights and maybe some other colors in the shadows or something. We'll see.
So
this guy has light coming kind of from like this direction.
Right. So kind of 45 degrees up and 5 degrees around from the left kind of thing.
Yep, the sort of like go-to. It seems like there's a lot of people standing directly like 45 degrees under the sun or under their light source or torch or whatever. yeah, I'm gonna, just because the guy's like looking in this direction, and it's this sort of. I could get the brightness to stay constant on this camera. Keeps wanting to. Maybe that will help. I don't know. Yeah, so he's looking in this direction. That'll put the most light on his face, and then I'm going to concentrate like most of the light, like right here. Like if you imagine like a circle, you can kind of see where I've already started to do it on the tunic.
Yeah.
So imagine like a circle right here will be most of the light, and then it's just going to get darker and darker as he goes around for two reasons. One, it'll make it a more dramatic look on the model, and two, it means I don't have to paint as much down here. Shadow, no one really cares. So
it's going to be one of those things where you work through and you do a particular layer over all of it, and then you do fewer or basically as you get get lighter and lighter. For example, with the metal, you just won't do as many layers down the bottom.
Yeah, so if you're like the bit that I'm painting like right now on his like this shoulder pad, this one piece of like rounded armor that's on the shoulder is gonna get the widest and brightest sort of highlight. So it will be very, very bright. And the other areas are this gauntlet here will be a little less so. There'll be a lot of light here on this part of his gorget right up there.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then down here you can see like on his knee pad, it's just much smaller little small highlights that are an edging that are just going to give it the effect of when your eye sees this shoulder pad and this gauntlet and that gorget, you're going to be like, okay, that surface is metal. And then everything else that's in the same colors with like the same type of pattern, but maybe darker with just like smaller highlights in diameter if it's a circle. So like the shoulder pad's kind of circular, so you're working in a circle kind of up here. This knee pad is also circular down here. But you can see like it's just much smaller. The area that's highlighted brightly is just much, much tighter.
Right.
And because it's going to be sort of farther from the light. And it'll give that effect like it's, the same substance, but different amounts of light falling on it.
Okay, cool.
Excellent.
That's awesome. Also, real quick, I just wanted to say hello to Gary. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Gary.
Chris has to go, but he'll run to the store, but he'll come back. Cool. That's good stuff. Where do you post? Alan. So if you click the link to the Facebook group, I will let you join, and then you can post there.
Yep.
I will also put it again so you can see it.
Yep.
And Wyatt said, I haven't tried the non-metallic look yet. It might have to be the next technique that I try.
It's a lot of fun. I mean, I like both non and true metallics. It's just kind of fun to like figure out with the non-metallics. It's like a puzzle.
Okay.
To try to figure out how the light should work and that kind of thing. And I find that piece of it to be entertaining.
It kind of makes you more mindful.
Yeah.
Of what you're painting and where the light is falling and that kind of thing.
Yep. And this guy's going to be pretty messy overall, so I'm not super worried about. Like I'm trying to spend like a couple days on this guy tops, and that's about it.
Also, Jason had a question. How do you get such great coverage with the white?
So in this case, I haven't even busted out the white yet. I'm still on the pale gray blue, which is if you look at like.
Oh, Jeff. I think he means for the tunic.
Oh, on Dave's.
No, on yours. On yours, the tunic part.
Tunic.
Oh, this guy on the tunic.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So on this white, this was what is it? These are Andrea colors, and it's a white paint set that is just a really nice, just a nice start for whites, and it actually starts out with this color. Let's see if I find the right one. The darkest color in it is actually this color. They don't really have names. This is just like second shadow of the white kit. It doesn't really have a name. But you can see it's not really white. And so this is really like a nice way to get coverage. And then you just build up through increasing layers of, so there's the first shadow. And then there's like 5 of these paints, 5 or 6 of them or whatever. And then there's the base, which is this color here. And so that's the base for the white. And then you go up through, progressively lighter colors until you get to, pure white. And so I move up from dark to light on stuff like this because I'm working on a black base coat or primer coat. I just like to do it. You could start in the mid and go down into the shadows and up into the highlight or whatever. But yeah, trying to paint white on white on white or white on black rather. You're gonna get frustrated pretty quick.
Yeah.
Unless you're using like an airbrush or something like that. But even then you have to be careful because white doesn't airbrush particularly well. Most white paints don't airbrush particularly well. You'll tend to get a lot more spatter and light colors in general. You tend to get a little bit more, spitting pattern or whatever.
Yeah.
So you got to be careful.
That's good to know. I feel I don't feel as bad now because for like painting the white on my night, it was like there was quite a bit of spitting happening.
Yep.
And it was like, how do I fix this? Do I need to do more of this, more of that, less of this?
Yeah, there's just not a ton. There's some things you can do, some tricks you can try. The thinner you work, the generally the better it'll be. But then you can get into issues with like adhesion of the paint and stuff like that. Yeah, it's a complex.
Cool.
But for your whites, you use the like the 5 colors that
so this is one type of white that I would do. There's a lot of different. The cool thing about painting white is kind of the cool thing about painting black, and it's also the super annoying thing about painting white and painting black is that there aren't a ton of places in nature that you really see a true white or a true black.
Right.
They're taking on a lot of the colors from the environment around it. So you have to remember, like when you're painting white, you may be using a white paint in the process somewhere, but you don't really want to use white, like almost ever. And if you are, it's like in the most highlighted places or like really sharp edges or something like that. You might use like a pure white.
Okay.
But in general, you're always going to be working in off-whites. And so then you get to choose, do you want those to be warm off-whites? Or do you want them to be cool off-whites? Do you want them to have green in them or blue in them or, whatever, or yellow or orange or whatever the environment would have, or you want the way you want the color to look or the fabric or whatever. The same is kind of true with black. You're really not going to see like true like black, like absence of any color. It's usually you're seeing like a really dark gray or like really dark blues or something like that. It's sort of how your eye is interpreting them. So yeah, that's kind of fun because then it gives you a lot of opportunity to play with reflections and that kind of thing. So I could take a like a light gray color and use it as a base coat, and then sometimes I'll use what you'll call like a filter, which will be like kind of like a wash, but you're not letting it pool or run into the recesses. It's somewhere between like a wash and a glaze, kind of.
Okay.
And just adding some tones and some different colors to different parts of the white, and then building highlights back up to like a really, really light gray or something. And then maybe just like a dot of white someplace or something. But in general, like as I say this, by the way, as I am actually putting like pure
white
pure white onto my palette, which I'm going to use on some very sharp edges and dots and things, but that's about it.
Well, it was funny when you said like you should never paint a model with pure white, and I was like, rewind to 2 weeks ago when I painted this snow owl from dangin' pure white and then was regretting it every day afterwards.
I don't want to say never, right? Like there are always situations in which it makes sense, but like in general, you're not going to see like, real white.
Well, and it definitely makes sense, and I think was why I was having trouble figuring out what to do next with the mini, because it wasn't done, but having that flat white, I was like,
You also kind of have to reserve that kind of thing. Like, so I just put a little tiny, if you were watching, I just put like a really tiny little dot of white there on that, like right on the maximum point of that highlight there on this shoulder guard or whatever. You really kind of want to reserve your strongest or like your brightest color or lack thereof, I guess, if you're talking about white, your like most impact for like where you want to use it, right? And if you're going to use white, you want to use it at the sharpest edge, at the strongest highlight to create a contrast or something like that. You want to use it really, really sparingly. If you use white all over your model, you can't go any brighter than that
Right.
titanium white color. So you don't have any power left. Likewise, if you paint everything black, you don't really have any power left to go darker. So working most of your model in colors that are not that extreme gives you room, to be like, oh, I want this to look like it's glowing. Well, if you want something to look like it's glowing, the rest of your model is going to have to be really dark. And then you're going to have to save like the really bright colors for your OSL, your object source lighting effects. If you're going to do non-metallics, you're going to need those maximum highlights to be really small and really, really sharp and punchy so that it looks like metal. Can't do that if you've got, white on the rest of the model. Even now with this tunic there's no real, there's technically pure white paint, but it's so thin, it's not really pure white on the model. But even then, the part of his tunic right up here by his chest is starting to compete a little bit with the edge of this metal shoulder guard. Not a lot yet, and I can punch the shoulder up a little bit more, and I can do things to tone it down. But you just have to save yourself some room to, operate.
Room to work. Cool. Excellent.
That was a long answer, sorry.
To build up to that.
That's fine.
How do you get white to cover?
Cool.
No, it definitely makes sense. It was just interesting, I guess, maybe experiment for myself, because I've heard Dave say these things, but then to actually do it on my model and be like, oh, this is right. I did an oopsie, and I shouldn't have done this.
I've got to say, it must be something in the tone of my voice that means that people go, oh, that's interesting, and then can ignore it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because it happens with my daughters as well.
Okay.
Yeah, totally happens with them.
Yeah, it's
this is a thing. That's interesting, Dad.
That's
I believe you. I'm not going to listen to you until somebody else says.
Well, it's funny because I've taken a lot of classes. And I've listened to a lot of painters much better than I sort of describe what they do and what to do and what not to do. And honestly, it's not until you make either the mistakes or have the successes yourselves and really try it. You can't get better at painting listening to someone. That can help. It can point you in the right direction for sure. It can help you with problems, but it's not going to make you better. Practice and actually painting is the only thing you can do that is going to make you better. The rest is just tools and tips.
Yeah, and I think for me, it was more that I had heard it, but then actually doing it, as you said, Jeff, it was like, oh, now I'm understanding the application of this tip.
Yeah.
I get it.
I see.
I have nowhere to go because it's already bright white. And I'm sad about it. Damon says, I listen to Dave.
Oh, Damon.
I listen to Damon.
What's up, buddy? Yeah, I know. I just listen to Damon, too.
Yeah.
Damon should really be on here because I think I'm just regurgitating stuff that I probably heard from Damon.
Excellent. I was going to say, Leona, Alan sent me the picture.
Oh, okay, cool. Yes.
I forwarded it to you.
I did get that. All right.
So maybe we can sneak this in prior to the looking at the group photos. And then we can make sure that Alan can send in or post stuff to the group later.
Yeah, I was trying to. Anyway, do you want me to show it?
Yeah, that'd be cool. Let me check this out. So this is Alan Blunt's Ultramarine Terminator army.
Oh, that is a lot of Terminators.
That is. What's that, 35, 36? Nice.
That's great.
Yeah.
I was going to do a Deathwing army once. The project lasted for 10 minutes.
Speaking of painting white.
Yeah, I actually assembled them and everything, and I just looked at it and was like,
nah.
They're still sitting up there.
Well, actually, on this one, Leona, if you can zoom in a bit so we can see some of the faces. Well, the helmets there.
It's a little, yeah, it's a little blurry, but
okay, cool.
That's just the nature of the photo.
Yeah. But yeah, with this one, like Jeff's working on that very warm white for the tunic. When I say very warm, I mean the warm white, and not very. But it looks like Alan's gone for more of a cool / neutral kind of look there. Probably starting with a fairly neutral gray, leaning towards blue, but certainly not got any warmth in it. But to create the Terminator helmets there, because they're all veterans in the Ultramarine army wear white helmets. Yeah, looking very cool there.
Definitely does.
Josh Potter says that's a lot of blue. It certainly is.
I love when there's like a chaplain in, whether it's even Terminators or even like normal Marine armies.
Yep.
You know, you've got like this sea of blue, and then this one, you know, hardcore dude in all black.
Yep.
With a skull head on the thing, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Who's the nasty guy in this army? Who'd be that one?
Hand me my wallet.
Definitely cool. Yeah, that looks great, Alan. Nice work.
Josh asks, are some of these 3rd edition Space Hulk 2nd edition Termies?
I don't think so. If I can zoom in again a little bit. All post 3rd edition Terminators, Josh.
Yeah.
Yep, the ones that are probably came out in like 2003, 2004. That's a kit that's held up really well, though.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of shelves of opportunity.
Yep. Excellent. So do you think it was the fact that the Deathwing have loads and loads of white armor might have put you off that a little bit, Jeff?
Honestly, it was, I forget why I didn't do it. I keep playing with this idea, and Dave and my friends know this well, that I really do love bone white like armor on Marines. I just think it's the coolest damn thing ever. I don't know why. I just think it's great. And so every once in a while, I will either be like, I'm going to do some Deathwing stuff, or if I'm really feeling crazy and ostentatious, I will say I'm going to do like a whole army and do like Angels of Absolution, right? Which are basically whatever, 2nd founding, 3rd founding chapter.
Yeah.
I guess 2nd founding, right?
Second
and they are essentially the Deathwing color scheme on even just regular Marines. And what happens every single time is I paint one, I'm just like, wow, this looks really awesome. But it took me like a while to paint. And I'm like, I can't do a whole army of this. And then I'll wait for 6 months or a year. And then I'll come back, I'll be like, you know what I'd really like to do? And yeah. So that's my life.
Yep.
Eventually, if I go through that cycle, if I live long enough, I'll have an army that is all that color scheme. But I got to live for a long time to do that.
That's cool. That's good. I think, was it Tim mentioned it earlier? Tim Patterson mentioned earlier working on a, scrolling back through the chat now. Yeah, working on Lunar Wolves for his current pre-heresy. The Lunar Wolves are like a gray-white kind of look. So, Tim, how are you?
Oh, that was Jake, I think, right? Wasn't it? Because Jake's got Lunar Wolves.
Yeah, I think it was Jake.
Did I just complete the misread? Probably.
Maybe there were multiple Lunar Wolves.
Nope, it was Jake. You're right. Sorry, Tim. Jake, if you can let us know how you're tackling your white or your white gray for the Lunar Wolves, that'd be cool too. Always good to have a number of options, places to start from.
Oh, Tim said at the moment I'm learning non-metallic metals.
Oh,
Cool. Join the party.
Yep.
And by party,
You mean Jeff?
it's not a party.
Party of one.
Party of one. I tried that on a mini, and then I cried. No, I'm just joking.
It's definitely something that takes some practice.
Oh, Tim says, honestly, I'm finding it quite easy. Good.
Excellent.
Great.
That's awesome.
That's very cool.
That's good. Yeah, I think it's just because I feel like it helps if you have a certain level of mini painting already to try that skill.
Okay.
You're already comfortable with laying down basic colors and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think you'll want to definitely make sure that. I mean, you can do. I've seen a lot of cool non-metallic effects that even aren't necessarily even really blended together in any particular way. You can pull off a lot of stuff even if you aren't super comfortable with certain techniques, but it does help to kind of be comfortable because you're going to have to play around a lot as you figure out where you want the lights and the shadows and go and fix stuff and back and forth.
One of the something that would be very good to do as well, if you're just starting out, is having reference material.
Yep.
Nearby. So either photos you found online or either of a miniature that's been painted in a way that you want, or sort of photos of pieces of armor or weapons or whatever it happens to be that you're painting in that non-metallic kind of look, so you can see where the light falls and where the highlights and shadows would be. And when you earlier on, Jeff, you mentioned you were sort of just putting in the volumes.
Yep.
That's basically what you were talking about there, right? When you say putting in the volume, is working out where the highlights and shadows would be.
Yep. And then where you want, primary reflections, and then you go in and add like little secondary reflections to make it look extra shiny,
Right. So it looks like it's reflecting the environment around it.
Yep.
Cool. That is definitely some next level stuff.
Also, Tim says, I thought I had
metals.
Oh, here we go.
Yes. Well, that is secret hack, by the way. You can also take metallic paints and paint them on a surface and photograph it.
Right.
Yep. See how where the light hits, and then just paint over it with your non-metallics, and then exaggerate the effect.
Yep, that's cool. That way. What were we going to say, Leona?
Oh, I was just going to say, Tim said, I thought I'd have more problems because apparently he's colorblind. But luckily, non-metallics has to do more with light. So
it's really funny.
It's more about contrast and
My wife and I were talking about this just earlier. Like I too am colorblind in a couple spectrums. If colors get too desaturated, I have trouble telling the difference between some colors. And so every once in a while, we'll have to check something. I'll be like, "Is this what I think it is?" and that kind of thing. But it's rare. And he's absolutely right. In the case of non-metallic metals, it really is about contrast and highlight placement and shadow placement, and it could be any color you want. And in fact, they're more interesting when you bring other colors in.
That's cool. We had Jake there saying that he uses this is for the Lunar Wolves.
Okay.
He's using a light gray base coat with purple shadows and white edges and scratches. I also challenged myself to do them all non-metallic. No better way to improve than jump in net deep.
Yep.
If you're working, that would be great.
I'd be happy to post pics in the group. Yeah, sure.
Yes,
I just let you join, so feel free.
Excellent. Jason says, I have enough difficulty with metallic paints, not ready for non-metallic metallic. Yep. I'm with you there,
And
Jason.
that's cool too.
I feel that.
One of the things I enjoy doing with metallics is you get the opportunity to do things that they end up looking like you use non-metallic concepts.
Yep.
But using metallic pigmented paints to achieve them. I enjoy messing around with that.
I agree. That is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Lacapio says, I've tried it alternating the finish coat too, matte in some areas and gloss in other areas, or to create the illusion of metal.
Sure.
And also to create exotic metals.
Yep.
Yep, very definitely.
All sorts of different kinds of contrast.
What's an exotic metal?
A metal that you don't see a lot of, like unobtainium. What's the metal from vibranium?
Vibranium.
Okay.
Adamantium.
Yeah.
So all the made up metals.
Gotcha. It's exotic.
Yep. So I think when we'd be talking about, it'd be like talking about using colored metallics.
Yeah.
You can get by putting a different finish coat on them, you can get a different sort of look.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
If you think of the red on Captain America's shield,
yeah,
you can mess around quite a bit with that.
That's cool.
But yeah. Tim says he's not the red green. He's in the shade blind variant.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, that can be tough then. One of the things that my friend Chris Layfield, also a friend of the show, he works a lot from. He's colorblind, but he works a lot from recipes. So I think something like non-metallic metal could certainly be more achievable with if you've got your paints sort of lined up.
Yep.
Kind of working through from having a nice range of grays or a nice range of like browns through to yellows and whites and bones.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, I know people think it's like a barrier, and it does create a couple of challenges. You have to watch out for. In sometimes for some people, it's in certain color ranges. Sometimes it's a wider color range or a more narrow color range or whatever. But it's definitely not a deal breaker.
Yeah. But Josh says my metallics have photography problems. Is it NMM photographs better? Seems like there's less scatter from the flakes.
Yeah.
Which is that's definitely a thing.
It's hard to. I struggle with that. Like when I'm doing like true metals, I have a hell of a time photographing them.
Yeah.
But the other edge of that sword is you can there's really like a golden angle for non-metallics, and if you move the model off that golden angle, it's not going to photograph as well as
Yeah. Yep. I think that's been the exciting thing. Seeing like looking at painting over the last sort of 12 to 18 months, people have been working their non-metallic metals to have multiple kind of golden angles, which is really cool.
It is. I also think it's neat to paint to like the photo that you're going to take too. Like that's kind of like when you think about it, like photography and photos are just as much art as painting or anything else. So like it is kind of cool to like have an image in mind and then paint the model to match what you want from that camera angle to maximize it, and then photograph it, and it just looks unreal.
Yep. Yeah, that's definitely good.
Yeah, it's almost like creating its own diorama or terrain or not, what am I trying to say? Yeah, like those types of pieces.
Its own environment.
Correct, without actually having to make any of the background. But you're almost painting to that, where it's really stylized.
Yeah. If folks want to check out somebody, I think we've had a look at a couple of his pictures before when we talked about metallics. Is Kirill Kanaev.
Oh God,
Kirill's a Russian painter that he's spectacular
Yeah.
reflections in his non-metallic metals.
I question if he is from planet Earth or not.
He is. He's super patient. It's incredible.
I mean, he is a super, like, I've talked with him before. He's a super patient dude.
Yeah. It's wild. Sorry, just quickly, James said Titanmure. I'm guessing that was a reference to an exotic metal.
An exotic man.
Oh, okay.
Lucafia said an exotic metal example is original D&D's Mystara setting, region with red steel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Red steel.
Cool. And Jason was saying the reason he was looking into vortex mixers is that his metallics separate quite a bit.
Yeah.
Just to point it out.
That's the thing to do.
There he blows.
That's the I mentioned before. That's the mini Masterworks one. I popped the link in the thread that Jason started on the group. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Link there. So there are a couple of other options. A couple other folks have posted.
Yeah, for those who might not know, Jason was asking about the mixer. So the one that Dave, and that's on our Facebook group right now. There's a thread going. So if you have recommendations, be sure to check that out. Or if you're looking, Dave did put the link to the one that he's using right now.
Yeah.
I'll never forget we were painting some terrain at our friend's place for a convention. And I'm sorry, just laughing so hard remembering this story. He had these mixers, but they were like industrial grade, like chemistry kinds, like the puck that you would place the thing on was like this big, right? And
oh my goodness!
And we were using like big, like industrial sized vats of airbrush paint. These big, half-liter, 2-liter containers or whatever. I call them vats compared to, like this. Like
the little pods, yeah.
And so I was like, oh yeah, this needs to be shaken. I'm just going to throw it on this industrial mixer and it's going to be fine. That thing put out some force and it almost knocked the container, like clear. I dropped it. No paint came out, thankfully. The top was on pretty solid, but like I almost dropped one of those big style and res containers. if you know what I'm talking about.
Yep.
I was not because I was expecting like the little kind, like Dave showed. It was not the little kind.
That's great.
No one warned me.
Sometimes it's best to find these things out for yourself, Jeff.
Yep. I'm pretty sure everyone was just like watching me from the corner.
Yep.
I think he's gonna use the mixer.
Should we tell him?
It's gonna be so much funnier.
Let's just see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, it made all this noise. Yeah, it was impressive. I was impressed.
Yeah. Awesome.
Oh, Tim was saying, I had to line up my paint recipes and keep a notebook. Line it up and trust my brush for wet spots if I can't see the variation.
Yeah.
Right.
There you go.
Always around everything. But yeah, that's good.
But yeah, Lucafia was talking about taking pictures. I had a problem taking pictures of the ships that I did recently. Everything looked glossier than they really are.
Yeah,
that's interesting.
I think
could be the light. Is it maybe just harsh light?
Oh, it's because of the metallics, because you use a lot of metallics on the fly ships.
Oh, okay.
So when Josh was talking about that less scatter, basically that scatter is what gives that bit of a flaring effect.
Right.
When photographing metallics.
It'll blow them out, and it'll blow them out really easily on like silvers and stuff at wherever the light's hitting and actually reflecting off the metallic. It's a real delicate balance because you want to you try to tone it down by matting the model down, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If you mat it down too much, you kill And like the gloss is good on the metallics. It's what makes them look metallic. Yeah. Yeah, like you can see on this camera right now.
Yeah, when
Oh, Dave.
it's flaring a lot.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can see the gold at the top.
Yeah.
You lose all your...
That's because I've got a very strong light right there.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you get that kind of result. But,
Can you show us just like one more time? You had cut out just for a hot second there.
Oh, I had?
Dave, yeah. Open, you cut out again. No.
It doesn't like him getting that model close to the...
It doesn't like that. It's okay.
Close to the camera.
Well, while Dave is figuring it out, hopefully he'll be able to come back. Jake was saying contrasts over metallics work really well.
Yep.
I love that effect.
Oh, I'm back.
You're back. Yes, you're back, Dave. Woohoo!
I'm just going to send a message to my wife to say, please reduce the amount of internet usage upstairs.
Oh, no. It's okay. Yeah.
We'll see how that goes.
Dave is buffering. Yeah, Jake, actually, because Jake was saying also I posted some photos whenever you guys would like to take a look. Yeah. So we actually have photos from other people too. But I will grab yours real quick.
Cool.
To add to the people. So each week in our Facebook group, I ask for people's work in progress or different things that they're working on. And it's been really fun to see. If you're not on Facebook, we do have a link that you can submit to, which I will put in the chat momentarily.
Submit to this link.
Submit.
Excellent.
Okay. Sorry, I'm trying to do two things at once. All right, so we're going to look at these minis.
Cool. Hang on a sec.
And I'm also going to save this mini here. Okay, it is saved. Cool.
Okay. Let me know when we're starting.
All right, we're starting. First up, we have a mini from Betsy Bowers.
Oh, that's fun.
It's a Chaos Dragon from Arcadia Quest.
Oh, excellent. I think Betsy was saying something in the group that she's finished all of the Horizon Zero Dawn minis that she was working on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Until the next wave comes out later in the year. So
I love the colors. It's so bright.
Yeah. And you can tell this dragon is evil because
Purple
and
green.
Fluorescent green.
Yeah.
You had me at purple, but yeah.
But no, that's looking great, Betsy. I think I really love that you've treated all the different, each different texture has kind of a different treatment to it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you've got that cool purple, but there's some little modeling bits of pinks and some purples and blues in there.
Yeah.
Which look really cool. Adds to that
That's cool.
variety. Yeah. And yeah, I love that vibrant green. Looking very cool.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with purple and green.
Yeah.
I'm also loving the bright yellow eye, the very evil.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. With a tiny pupil.
Kink.
But no, looks great, Betsy. Nice work.
Looking good. We have Chris with a work in progress.
Excellent.
Oh, cool.
Is this? I think this is from Monpok.
I believe, yes.
Apocalypse. So this is one of the crazy. This is one of the destroyers or one of the defenders. I don't know. So you're still in the chat. You'll have to let us know. But,
yeah, that's a game I know nothing about.
What's that?
That's a game I know virtually nothing about.
Yeah. Beyond defenders and destroyers, I don't know too much about it. But hopefully in the next few weeks, we're going to do some painting, some monopop painting.
Yes.
Which would be super cool. But yeah, this is looking really nice. I love the obviously the green for the skin of the dragon for the organic parts. Is a great sort of balance against the black and the metallic. So the gray, the black, gray, and the metallics. Just a really nice balance.
Yeah, I also like it whenever a model is like predominantly gray but has like a couple pops of color put into the scheme, whether it's like red or orange or something, anything in that range. Looks, even sometimes blue or will look cool. But I like that. I always like those color schemes.
Yeah, definitely cool. Nice work, Chris. Looks great.
Yeah, looking good.
Very cool.
Chris Gorka.
Oh.
Excellent.
Oh, that's that TIE shuttle thing from Legion, isn't it?
Yes.
When I first saw it, I thought it was like a render.
I know.
Yeah, that looks great. It's super crisp.
Yeah, it has that kind of 3D artwork kind of feel to it.
It really does. Yeah.
Yeah, especially like these really crisp lines right here.
Yep.
On the edges. Yeah.
I was about to grab my mouse cursor and start to point out the other areas.
I'll just point at the screen. I'll be like right there.
So just those
right
bits.
There, guys.
There. But no, once again, Chris has done a great job, and classic Chris scheme with the sort of desaturated areas with the little pop of color. And I think the that reddish orange glow, sort of from the inside on the clear sections, just really sort of pumps home that Imperial feel.
Does that cockpit come in that? Does that canopy glass come in that color, or is it normally clear?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because if that's painted inside with translucent paint, that's a super clean application of whatever paint it is, whether it's like a Tamiya clear or something.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'll have to check.
I can never get that to work on mine. Like if I try to do translucent on the inside of a clear canopy or plastic or something, it always gets jacked up.
Right. Yeah. I always go for washers on the outside for weathering. So this is where all the dirt accumulates in the corner. And this kind of thing.
I've never thought of that. That's genius.
And that's because you wash your cars all the time, right?
Yeah, that's true. I do actually wash.
For like 2 years, and it looks terrible.
I do actually wash vehicles. Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. That's the difference.
That's incredible.
Yeah, Wyatt's absolutely correct. It does look new off the factory floor.
Yeah, it looks great.
Super. Yeah. Great work, Chris. Looks awesome. Great.
With a Nightshade 3D print by Cast and Play.
That's cool.
That is really cool, isn't it? Yeah. I love now, when we were talking about the focal point on your miniature, Jeff, and how you're going to reduce the size of the highlight areas as you went further down. So this miniature here on the face, like that brow across the top there, is very definitely the lightest part of the wood.
Mm-hmm.
And when you sort of work your way down, you still got those colors there, but they're not as bright. They're not as vibrant. So you got that great focal point going in around the head.
Yeah, your eye goes right to the face.
Yeah. Similar thing with the greens. They're super right. You got going up to yellow up the top there, but then down the bottom they're a lot darker and not quite as vibrant. But yeah, really nice work there, Greg. That looks cool. And I do love that the brightest part is the points in the eyes.
Yeah, it's got a nice glow effect.
Cool glow. Yeah. Excellent. Keep up the great work there. Nice one. Sorry, I just noticed that Wyatt said, don't wash your car is the tip I'm taking away from this stream.
If you want to see how to weather models.
Yep. Definitely cool. Sorry, just one thing I will quickly say. Actually, I have a model here. I did that on this. We can just switch this for a sec. So on this, basically, I took a toy truck, added a lot of sort of quick weathering and washes there, but on the windscreen, I painted it with a actually I sprayed it, I think, with a matte varnish, and then I went back and painted those streaks with a gloss varnish.
Oh.
Because I didn't want to have to mask anything off. But it basically took that matte look, which just got lots of tiny little speckles, and then covered it back over.
It's again genius. I was thinking you would have to mask it up.
But then you see around the windows at the back, same sort of thing. But yeah.
That is next level.
That's very
Next
cool.
level weathering. That looks awesome.
Cool.
Also, Lucafio says, I looked it up, and the transport comes with a clear plastic canopy.
Wow, so yeah, that was super clean application of however you did that.
Yep. Definitely good.
Yeah. I mean, I'm assuming it was sprayed with an airbrush, but
yeah.
Yeah.
You did it better than I usually do.
But looking good. So Jason, so hopefully Jason's still in the chat. This is WizKids Magus. So this is the one that he said that he was going to be working on a little bit later. So yeah, this guy's coming along really nicely. I'm loving the bright yellow, the red, around that center there, around the you got like the desaturated, you got the black, the gray, the browns, but having that pop of color in the middle pulls your eye to the center model there. So
and I think that's a really tiny model, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty small.
It's pretty small. To have the eyes painted on that model gets 2 thumbs up for me. That's getting to the scale where I almost start to say, forget it.
just deep. Why do all your models have their eyes closed, Jeff?
Well, let me tell you about my infinity.
Or they're just like always happy, so you just do the one eye.
They always look like super moody, like lighting, so their brow, is covering their eyes, and it's super dark in there, so you couldn't really tell whether it was open or not.
Excellent. But no, it's looking great, Jason.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, nice one.
Liam?
Oh, yes.
Vampires!
The Crimson Court is actually in my list, so I managed to score one of those box sets. I had to get it on eBay, and yeah, that kind of sucked. Yeah, because it's like continually out of stock. Like GW sold out as soon, because I mean, look at the model. Like, they're so cool. They're just, they're gone. And then I got notified of a restock, and then it sold out before I got to it. There you go.
Oh, wait.
Mine are also just like the ones before, still in a box.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you want me to zoom up on them, or?
No.
Okay.
These are better. They're painted.
Yeah, Liam's.
Because I was like, look, we have the painted models.
Painted. These look great, man.
It is way better. Yeah, I think one of the things I love that Liam's done here is switched up. When we were talking about switching up the box art, a lot of the vampires in this in the Crimson Court have crimson armor.
Yep.
All of their.
Oh, okay.
So it's done a bit more like the Dracula's armor in Bram Stoker's Dracula. So stuff that Gary Oldman wore.
Right.
Yeah. So going for this dark, sort of very heavy iron kind of feel to it looks awesome, and switching the crimson around onto the fabric, and particularly is Vella von Fane, is that her name?
That's a great question. I don't know. I only know Prince Duvel, I guess, is the leader guy. I didn't look at the other ones' names.
But on her hair is just awesome.
That model, whatever her name is with the 2 swords, might be one of the best single figure models that GW's made this year, or in the last 2 or 3 years. It's so good. It's so good. And also, I would like to say that, like, I think the bases on these models, particularly the Shadespire ones, like the ones wherever it's a small team, Shadespire, Warcry, whatever the other ones are, the sculpt on these bases are actually really good. And one thing that I like that he's done here is they create a great contrast. Again, the way he's painted them creates a great contrast against the model itself without looking too out of place. And like, I don't think we pay enough attention or give enough attention to the bases. They're that, like, the sculpts are really, really good, and I don't think we give enough attention to them, and I think he has, and I think it looks really cool.
Yeah, I think the dark armor is quite warm, and with the warm bone like tusks that the ivory tusks there, the guy with the big mace, and the red for the clothing. To go with that, the blue, so that cool color punched into the gray there is really fun. And you can tell that he's got the blue in there rather than it just being a trick of the photography, because Prince Deval on the right there has his foot up on a gray statue. So
yeah, it looks great. Oh, I love it.
Yeah, definitely cool. Great work. We
like to see it.
You can tell we're excited about vampires.
Yeah.
We've been paying a lot of attention to these guys.
We can be bribed.
Yeah.
And I think Liam had posted these like separate from on the comment post, and he had said something about like, I want friends who look like me. Like who like dress like this or something.
I want that to be. I want to roll up to the club with that.
Right, squad. Exactly.
Yes.
Actually, Prince Deval on the right there. I had a roommate who would go out to goth clubs looking like that.
Really?
That's awesome.
Oh.
Yeah, 97.
I kind of want to convert that model though, and like have him holding a book, like he's really passionate about reading this book, and he's just like,
right,
you know, or a skull and do a little Hamlet thing.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
To be or not to be.
But yeah, it's the I think I don't know whether it's because are they seeing through themselves, or are they looking for their humanity in there?
I don't know what's going on. I just think these models are so cool. I think you've done a great job with them, Liam.
There are quite a few of the vampire models have that hand up.
Yeah.
They're looking at it. They're like,
why am I so thirsty? It's like the Picard meme, you know? Like, whoa.
This undeath is making me thirsty.
Why do these pretzels make me so thirsty?
That's awesome.
But moving right on, we've got Michael Gonzalez has posted his Crix Command.
Is this Warmachine?
This is Warmachine.
Okay, another game that I am not familiar with, so I had to guess. But I guess Privateer Press because of bases.
Yeah, Crix are the basically the undead legions.
Okay.
So that's why, particularly in the like the banner bearer on the bottom left, you've got that skull head. You kind of got the skull faces on the others as well, but a little bit more armor on them.
Again, I'm feeling skeletons right now, so definitely in the right mood.
Yep. No, I think these are looking really good, Michael. I like the mix of the metallics, so the silver and the brass there, bright shiny brass, which is looking really cool. But one of my favorite things is because you've got that red banner, that pop of green with the eyes.
Yeah.
It just works really well against it.
It's a great contrast.
Yeah.
Excellent. It's good. They're good too. Like sometimes when you're working with true metallics like that, it can be hard when they're next to each other. Like when you have two different metallic colors and you're trying to make them look like two different things, even if it's like gold and silver or whatever. If they're too bright, they can tend to again, because they catch so much light, they can tend to shine together and make it hard to tell the difference between the two. But you've done a really nice job of washing down or glazing down, however you did it. The two different colors in different ways with different tones, so they really do kind of stand out as distinct, pieces of armor or whatever.
Yeah, and I think something maybe it's easier to see if I zoom up a little bit, but it looks like for the silver he doesn't pull it quite to the edge.
Yeah.
So that helps create that line between, except for this one right here. Yeah. But like on some of the pieces of the clothing, he leaves just a little bit of black, which I think helps, as you said, emphasize that separation.
I like how dark the guy on the right too. How dark the eye sockets are with just the two little like BD like glowing. It's cool.
Yeah, no, these look great.
Yep. Nice, Michael.
Yeah, definitely.
Robert with the WizKids
Nice.
Silver Surfer.
I like him.
Yeah, he's definitely cool.
The galaxy effect or like the Starfield effect on the base is really neat. That's a good play.
Yep. That's I think what he was trying to do there, actually there was spray it white with an M.
That would be what mine looked like if I tried to spray it, right? Oh, yeah. That's cool.
But no, it definitely looks good. Obviously, the silver is looking great there. That's right. But yeah, talking about the galaxy, I think there's some purples and a little bit of the touch of red in there as well. I was about to reach out to the screen.
Right here.
Yep.
Sorry.
I feel like my finger is moving the mouse now. Oh.
It is. Also, I just wanted to say hi to Chris Gorka. Thanks for joining.
Hey, Chris.
I double checked. That's who it was.
Excellent.
Yeah, there's a nice contrast. I also like the cartoon black lining.
Yeah.
Always a good touch.
Yeah.
Looking very cool. Nice work, Robert. Great. Oh, Sebastian. Anya, like her. Ugh. I rarely get stumped by names, but
Lycarian.
Lycarian. There you go.
From Malifaux.
Lycarian. Yep. She looks
cool texture. Yeah, cool texture on the clothes.
Yeah. Yep. Following there, having working on somebody with a teal robe.
I was gonna say, I was like, this lady looks just like yours.
Yep. No, I think it's like, have I chosen a similar color? Actually, I have purples. I have some red. And I came very close to doing like a burnt orange kind of looking on some of this, but no, I think it looks great. Sebastian's done a great job there.
Okay.
Yeah, I love that hair too. So that's where I was talking about sort of the burnt orange, the auburn look.
Yeah, frames the face nicely, and there's a nice clean sort of. Sometimes it's easy to have faces like blur with the hair around them, and there's a nice clean separation there that makes it look like the hair is kind of like laying over the face as opposed to being all one object.
Yeah. I love. I think I saw some other miniatures that Sebastian might have posted in the group with that his basing. You got the.
That is great.
Yep, the railway sleepers and the the rail. Yeah. Looks very cool. Nice work, Sebastian.
Yeah, looks great.
Looks great.
Looks good. Sean Gleason with a work in progress.
Excellent. Yeah.
I like it.
So this
I
is
love that model too.
Yep. Can you turn around and grab that one, Jeff?
I can.
Yeah.
Do you want me to?
That's okay.
It is actually back behind me. Still unfinished.
Yeah. But yeah, so this is this the champion from the Archers unit? Or?
Yeah, it's the leader. No, I'm sorry, for the Spearman unit, whatever they're called, from the Lumineth Realm Lords.
The Wardens, maybe for that. But yeah, I think so this is definitely following through on the rest of Sean's army. I think he's got 2,000 points painted already.
Something like that.
Right. Yeah, I think I've seen his before. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sean's got lots of photos in the group. You can go through and check those out. But yeah, coming along really nicely, Sean.
Yeah,
I think, picking out those, you got lots and lots of metallic trim there around the edge. So that's Wardens. There we go. Sean's
Wardens there.
His last one.
Oh, last one. There's a celebration point.
Yes.
You made it.
Yep, definitely cool when you get to the end of the unit. But yeah, nice work.
Tim with the work in progress.
Oh, excellent.
Still a little bit of detail left.
So this is a Dankhold Trogoth. Such a huge model.
Did you paint one of these?
Yeah, I did. 18 months ago.
Okay.
But actually, technically, I think I painted 2 of this model. I did one of them in a similar sort of purples to this. I can't remember what color I did for the little barnacles that he's got all over him. But
Wasn't it like cream? No.
I'm not sure. I'm really not sure.
Green.
It's a great transition.
Light blue one. But one of the things that I'm really liking about this from Tim is the crispness of the accessories.
Yeah.
He's got sort of hanging around him. So obviously he's still working on the barnacles and going through and base coating those, and we'll get through the highlighting and then getting up to those really cool mushrooms at the top. But that cannon and the rope that's sort of holding that cannon on around him, they're looking super crisp against the dank ultra off there.
It's a great transition, and in the skin tones,
Yeah.
where, you have like the belly leading up to the shoulder muscles up there. Yeah, really cool transitions, and there's a lot of variation in the skin too, which I think is something that, like, on a model that big with that much exposed skin, you have to play up in order to make it really interesting, because there's just so much skin, and like skin isn't all the same color throughout, like, your body. And very cool. That variation looks really natural and gives a lot of character to it. I love it.
Yeah, definitely cool.
Looking
Excellent.
good.
Looks great. Wyatt, excellent.
Nice.
Massive darkness. Yeah, super cool.
Cool color scheme.
Yep.
That's what I was gonna say. I like the color of the skin.
Yeah.
The skin there with the little bits of basically like scales of blue.
Oh yeah, there you go.
That, sort of the blue green. Yeah, that looked really cool. I think it's also a fun choice there for the like the cloth on the braces and the greaves.
Mm-hmm.
Still using a green, but and still a desaturated green, but putting that sort of yellowish olive into there rather than the white that's gone into the highlighting the skin. So yeah, very cool. You don't see that often, obviously, because there's not a lot of green skins that people paint, but but in particular, yeah, that's a very cool choice.
Yeah.
But I do love the kind of the beaten, weathered look of the those armor plates and on the axe in that creature's right hand, the that sort of gold, weathered gold there, looking very cool.
Yeah, I always like that effect when there's a big blade or an axe and you've got like the flat face of it is colored in some way, or is like has a different patina or a different whatever, and then like the blade, the actual part that does the cutting, is very shiny or very beaten up or what have you. That's always a neat effect, because I think sometimes I know I struggle with that, because like I know what to do on the edge of the blade, but I'm like, what do I do with the rest of it? And sometimes it can just be another color, and it works. It works. It's cool.
Yeah, definitely good. Excellent. And Wyatt says he's been very green happy lately. Excellent.
Makes sense.
But yeah, nice work.
Cool. So I'm gonna jump us back here and
Excellent.
get Jason's picture.
Okay. Yep. Cool.
Were you gonna say something?
I was going to say at the end, now that we've got Chris Gorka in the chat.
Oh, okay.
About the interior of about the canopy of.
Oh yeah. What did you?
Did you want me to bring?
Well, we'll do it whichever order. So if you want to show whatever first.
I'm gonna guess like a Tommy, like clear paint through an airbrush, but.
Okay, this one is
Oh,
this is Jake English's.
Jake's.
Jake's.
Yes, this is Jake's.
Cool.
This
I've
is just
seen these
one
guys.
of the
They look great.
one of the many pictures that he posted.
Excellent. Yep.
Yeah, great lettering on the boots too.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah.
You see that wonderful like light gray is the base color for the armor, but with that purple pushed into that, just gives it that extra, like, just a great depth to it.
Yeah.
It's not super purple, but it's just enough to to give it that.
It's cool. It gives it like it gives it color. You know, it's easy to paint in like black and grays and just have stuff look washed out and very monochromatic because it literally is monochromatic. And it like adding a little bits of color into the shadows or into the highlights or whatever really makes a difference. And this is a great example of that. Plus the OSL on the plasma, combi plasma is cool too.
Yeah, definitely looking good. So these guys must be evil because we have purple and green.
They just don't know it yet. If he's doing Lunar Wolves, they are evil. They just don't know it yet. Well, you can have a debate as to whether or not whether it's the Emperor that's evil or Horus, but that's a different. That's a conversation for a different time.
Yeah.
Separate.
Yeah.
Can you tell him a Dark Angels player?
Yeah. Excellent. No, it's very cool. Great work, Jake.
Yeah,
Also,
that's awesome, dude.
I just wanted to say thanks for joining Tim. He has to go. Everyone have a great night. Good to see you.
Cheers, Tim. Good to see you.
And also, hello to Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Hey, Dave.
Joining us late from Arizona.
It is on. Okay, here we go. This is Chris's that we were.
So you're still in the chat.
So Chris, if you're still in the chat, we had some questions.
Well, there's one question really. It was, how did you do the canopy? Is it? Have you painted it? Have you tinted it with something? Have you put a light inside, and we just can't see that red glow from red light from inside? Which is it?
Did you 3D sculpt and print a copy in clear reddish orange?
Oh, actually, yeah, I hadn't even thought of that.
I don't think so. I doubt that.
Print it in translucent resin.
Yeah, but
it is the future, so
yeah.
that we're living in.
It is the future.
That is. Tell me I'm wrong. There we go. The windshield is tinted. Badger ghost tint.
Oh, ghost tint. Okay.
Okay, so yeah, Badger airbrush paints have a line of ghost tints, which are I've seen used for like a candied effect.
Yeah.
On different vehicles and so on, but yep, there we go. Badger ghost tints through an airbrush.
I should try that because I think what always gets me a little bit like sideways using Tamiya paints through an airbrush is that it's just they're a different base. They're not water based, so like you have to use a different kind of thinner, and like sometimes they get kind of gunky if I'm not fitting them well. Yeah,
Right.
I think the ghost tints are water, but I think they're still water based acrylics.
Yeah.
I think so. I should give those a try. I have not tried that. That might help me with that kind of effect. Which is
I have a feeling that buried somewhere under here, possibly here,
is a ghost tint.
There's the blood red ghost tint.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
Yeah, why is it that red is the color? I guess that's always the transparent color. Like that's the one transparent color I have is red. It always is.
Well, you want to be able to do that blood splashed on the paints, right?
Yeah, because that's how they do it. The Tommy, I'll put it on the end of the brush and flick the brush. Yeah,
We're all 12-year-old boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely cool. But Chris says 2 drops of flow improver, 3 drops of ghost tint.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will give that a shot. Oh, that's great.
And Lucafio said he was going to guess that he tinted the clear coat to act as a wash.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You could do that too.
close, yeah. But no, definitely great work there, Chris. Very nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, thank you everybody who posted the pictures or sent them to Leona.
Yeah, tons of great work.
Very cool. Nice stuff.
Yeah, people are doing some cool stuff.
They are indeed.
I like the variety.
Yeah. Definitely. That is a cool thing. There's so many different models, different genres. People are messing around with.
Yeah, it's cool because like you don't necessarily get that as much on like the social circuits on like Instagram and whatnot, because it's kind of like all of the painters will get a kit roughly the same time, and then you just see like all of that kit. Like right now you're seeing a ton of sold like Grave Lords and vampire stuff, like before it was Curse City. Like you're seeing the same stuff over and over again, and it's great to see all these different takes on it, don't get me wrong, but kind of nice to see some stuff that isn't like the brand new releases sometimes too.
Yeah. I think sometimes as well, particularly with Instagram, you can end up some painters will stick to a specific genre.
Yeah.
Or to a specific army, or it might happen to be.
Yep.
So if you're following them, you're always going to see that kind of thing from them.
Yep.
So that is a cool thing about the groups that are, I guess, miniatures agnostic. Whatever.
That's very true.
Yeah, I do like that we can see a variety of things, and also a variety of like progress as well. So very much, it's okay to send us works in progress, because it's okay if it's not completely done. It's sometimes nice to see what people are working on. And
I should switch my.
Okay.
Yeah, Jake says, thanks for the kind words. I'm very pleased with this project so far, and hopefully I'll get to put them on the tables at Nova Heresy 2022.
Awesome.
Cool.
That army will look fantastic.
Yeah. Chris says, thank you. I'll have to catch up on the beginning half of the stream later. Yeah. We talked, Jeff and Dave talked about your mini for a while, so
yeah.
Do recommend if you're able to.
It's probably why he hopped on. His ears were burning.
His ears were like, ah!
Yeah.
Wyatt says, I'm trying to get through all my Massive Darkness minis before the second one comes out.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nice.
When is the second one due? Is it soon? I know that the Kickstarter's been run, but I'm not sure when the
I have no idea.
next one's coming.
Dave says, or those of us stuck on finishing a project, a massive project.
Right.
One massive project.
Massive project. Yeah. Definitely good. And Dave, you might want to go back and check out earlier in the stream as well, when we showed Alan Blunt's Terminator army.
Oh, yeah.
So I think Dave would get a kick out of that. Now I'm trying to move my window back to the small screen where the camera is, so that when I look at my screen, I can look at the camera.
You're not far away.
There we go. Cool. Oh, Wyatt says it was supposed to be August, but I usually add 6 months to their estimated ship date. That's fair.
Hey.
Yep. As a Kickstarter creator, I can appreciate that. Definitely cool. I think one of my friends is back to the Marvel United X-Men game from Simon.
Okay, yeah.
The Kickstarter recently. And when that comes in, I'm going to paint those guys up for him.
Oh, sweet.
So they have that.
Nice.
It's going to be fun for me because they've got that chibi kind of look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, those ones. I've been seeing those like advertised, like the box art or whatever. It looks freaking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. They do.
I forget who it was that painted it. Was they just did Jubilee, and I was just scrolling Instagram and saw it like before I hopped on here. And they did the most amazing job with her, those blocky sunglasses she has on her head or whatever. And they just did such a cool, like, reflective, like, effect on it. It was really, really neat.
Excellent.
I was enamored.
I wonder if that was Sergio.
Calvo?
Sergio Calvo, yeah.
I want to say it wasn't. It didn't feel like Sergio's stuff, but I could be wrong because they may have asked him to, like, do like a specific look or something.
Right.
Yeah, I feel like because the chibi has a lot more flat surfaces, people can play around with those reflections a lot more. Because it was the same with Captain America's shield.
Yep.
Someone just went ham on the like dot dot line. It looked really cool though.
Yeah.
I was like, it's so shiny.
Yep.
Yes, Mark says chibi. Yes, they are very chibi. And Josh Potter says anywhere within 2 years I consider on time.
Yep. Excellent. Why it says hopefully they look for the cargo ship captain so that it gets stuck in transit. Yep. But if anybody is looking to approach chibi miniature painting for the first time, throw it up in the Facebook group and tag Mr. Maxi. He has done a lot of fantastic work, and certainly somebody I'll be hitting up for suggestions when I get to that stage. I think the thing that I find toughest about it is that I'm very comfortable painting faces, regular faces on miniatures.
Right.
And usually there's a lot of standard spots where there are lines and creases and that kind of thing.
Yep.
But when you get to chibis, because they are that larger, flatter kind of look, you lose that. So you've got to approach that differently. So that's the thing that always throws me. So
I think that is very fair.
Excellent. But thank you. Thankfully, Mark says, yes, anytime. So that would be cool.
Jake says, those minis seem like fun to paint, but I also feel like I'd be done after one.
Right.
One mini and then you're good.
Right. That's possible. I mean,
no more chibi.
I think folks like Mark and Elizabeth Beckley and that they've worked it out. They've worked out how to do it, so it's
right.
It's exciting.
Yeah,
it's just as exciting as whenever you do work out. When you get to that point, you go, oh, now I get it. With whatever project it might happen to be, about it once you get to that stage. Okay, I'm almost finished this this lady with the feathers. Woo. Super excited. I just went along and put a little gem inside each of the eyes.
Oh yeah.
And the feathers. So I'm doing the white highlight dot, and then I'll be able to hit it with some gloss varnish.
Get that blick, that little blick dot. I don't know where that term came from. Does anybody know?
What?
We call those little dots blicks all the time, and I don't know why.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I got to admit, that's the first time I've heard that.
Really?
Yeah.
I hear that all the time. It's just a blick of white. Or
little blick of white.
Or whatever. I'm like, oh,
I don't know.
Maybe it's just like one person started saying it for some reason, and now like a number of us carried on saying it for no good reason.
That could be it.
It's like most of my vocabulary.
That's not going to blame.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. A little bit of gloss varnish. And almost show her.
Are you gloss varnishing it now?
Huh?
Are you gloss varnishing it now?
Yeah.
Oh, by brush.
Yeah, just brush.
It's like, just go outside. Yeah, spray.
No. I mean, I'm just gloss varnishing the gems.
Oh, I got you. I was like, that's not good for your health, man. What's that?
What health?
Okay.
But Jeff is completely correct. I should not be spraying at my desk here.
Yeah.
So
That's
I'm.
Public service announcement.
Don't spray at desk.
Okay.
So I'm going to have to take this off camera for a second because I'm blacklining something.
That's okay. I'll just put Dave on there.
There we go.
Cool. The the feathers.
Two little feathers.
Those are cool. Yeah.
Actually, hang on a second. Let me see if I can do that. I think I did that thing last week where I just tilted it a little bit. Yeah, there we go. That's a little bit better.
Oh yeah.
And
I
Oh,
love the
nice.
idea that she's got like these ornate feathers and then has like gold and gems
yeah,
like in the feathers.
So
Yeah,
extra.
Yeah, she just extra as hell.
so she's on.
On brand.
Feels very Slaanesh.
Something I'm not sure if we ought to pick up on the camera, but yep, there we go. So down the front there,
Yeah.
pick it up, but all of those buttons are picked out in gold.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I see them.
Oh, I like it.
That's awesome.
That was fun.
Speaking of gold.
I love gold.
I love gold. I actually do prefer painting gold to like steel colors. I don't know why.
Now I get to attach her to the. Just using some blue tack at the moment. There she is.
Woohoo! There we go.
Et voila.
We just need one guy, that guy sitting.
Dude, the Saint Celeste
Yeah,
edition is so good.
I know it is.
it worked out pretty well.
Oh my god.
There are a few issues, but
Well, she's clearly had better days.
I was going to say, maybe she has a few issues.
Yeah.
he probably does.
But yeah, that conversion just came out incredible.
Josh Potter says, looks great, Dave. Have you ever thought about being a professional mini painter? I think you have some real talent.
I don't know.
No.
I don't think I should try.
You might have a shot at this, Dave.
Nah,
Maybe.
nah. There are lots of people who paint a lot better than me. Jeff, for example. But
I don't know about that.
But yes. No, when he said looks like she's having a bad day, that's what
Yeah.
like throwing a quote from Aliens there. She's not having a bad day, Leona. She's a piece of plastic. Okay, so now just two to go. Who should I work on next? The big guy?
I think the big fat guy.
Big guy.
Yeah.
And then finish it off with him at the front.
He is my favorite.
I've got lots of metal work to do on him, so but he has a cool funky tail. I'm gonna
I didn't realize he had a tail.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
A mechanical tail,
I love it.
of course.
I love it. Why not?
And he's got three at the front. He's got three claws. So that's the purple and the claws.
That's so good. No, yeah.
So
You can't have Slaanesh without.
Yeah.
Those are like requisites.
it's coming along nicely. I'm pretty happy.
You should be. It looks incredible. And it's a big, and that was like one of those projects that like you started in on it, and I was like, dude.
Yep.
I was like, that's a lot of work what you're trying to go for.
Yeah. Yep.
But in true Dave style, like a week later, the
got
thing's
it done.
like half done, and I'm like,
Challenge accepted.
like, it was like 4 days later or something, and I'm still like painting some dude's armor. And I'm like, oh. Dave built like a whole night and painted it.
Yeah. I don't know. There are just times when I feel crazy sort of being my bonnet about doing something wild.
Well, that qualifies as wild. I will tell you that.
It does. It fits the description for sure.
Yeah.
Lucafio says, I am extremely disappointed Dave has not showed off his shirt all night.
Okay.
Do you want to see Dave?
I noticed it.
Let's show it off then.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it was my
Go ahead.
birthday yesterday, and this was a shirt that I got from my mum. Australia. What a difference a Dave's makes.
That is like a perfect mom
It is.
birthday present, isn't
It
it?
really is.
The best part is that so in our house we usually when your birthday falls on a weekday and you've got school or work or whatever, generally the gift opening is one of the last things that happens
Okay.
in the day. So we don't it's like, hey, happy birthday, here's breakfast, get to school, get to work, whatever happens to do. And then we'll have dinner and cake and then gift opening. And I FaceTimed with my mum, and she said, well, if you don't like your t-shirt, I can arrange to get you another one. And I'm like, sorry, Mum, we haven't opened it yet. Please don't spoil any of the other gifts. She was like, oh, I'm sorry. But yeah.
What other T-shirt was she gonna get you? Like one that has like someone else's name on it? Like what a difference Joe makes.
That would be, that would be silly because like, my name's not Joe, but also it doesn't work with the sentence.
It doesn't work. The T-shirt is perfect.
I'm not sure. Maybe she get me like a Star Wars T-shirt or something.
Ah, I gotcha. I think this one's better.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's super cool. Yay! I'll try not to overwear it on the show.
It's okay.
And I will film this with you.
Excellent. But so Jeff, I'm not sure from the ghost hints, but was asking what shade of blue would you guys suggest for the inside of a clear icy base?
And that's Josh Edwards.
Oh, that's Josh Edwards?
Yeah.
Sorry, Josh.
I mean, I would probably go like a light blue, right? Like I don't know the names of the ghost tint colors.
Yeah. Oh, actually, now that I know that it's Josh, and he may not be talking about ghost hints. But Dave Hummel's asking about the T-shirt. Dave, I'll try and track down the details and let you know.
Is Powell's on here?
Huh? Powell's isn't. No, it's buddy Dave Hummel from.
Oh! I thought you said Dave Powell's. I was like, is he on here? I was like, I'm surprised he's not giving you more grief.
One of the colors that I would use for
Oh, sorry.
icy blue is deep sky blue from Vallejo. So something like that.
Yeah.
Mix it with some white for parts. But if you've got a clear base and you want to, I guess it really comes down to what you want to do with it. If you're putting it on the outside or the inside.
You know, if you want to make it like fancy ice, like magical ice too. Like you can it's always fun to like add some greens, like some green and teals in there too. You know, like I don't know, like Saburate green. You know, like to mix in some like desaturated green colors. Those are always fun.
Yep. I can't find it. It's on my note. There it is. One of the other things you could do is if you're painting on the outside of it, you can hit it with a clear matte spray, kind of like I did on that truck, and maybe something like the Athematic Blue contrast paint, like Jeff was talking about, has some green in it, so it's going to have a nice sort of teal look. That'll give you a deeper kind of a little bit more of a glacial feel.
Yes.
So
Okay. Sorry.
you could do that, but you could also do that if you're able to get paint on the inside of it. You could spray the matte varnish on the inside and put down some very careful washes with the Athematic Blue. Is a good one. But yeah, that'd be things to try. Josh
says it's kind of like internal highlights looking through an icicle.
Yeah. The big thing is just if you've got sharp edges and a bit of a bluish, greenish kind of look and a gloss finish, you'll get that. It will read quite well generally as an icicle or an ice of some kind. Oh, I'm going to mix it into a clear water. In that case, try something like the Athematic Blue. because that should thin pretty well with the clear water. So yeah, to give that a try. Cool. Excellent. How's it looking, Jeff?
Slow.
Have you got some? You've done some sort of antique gold on the.
Yeah, we're doing some of the trim. I like, for the most part, like the other challenge from doing this kind of effect and painting like this is that you're not ever completely sure if it's too bright or, you know, like what you're going for until you get some of the other stuff kind of blocked in. So it's all still messy and stuff, and that's fine. It may even stay that way if I like it. I just don't want to go any further. But somehow I'm going to just start adding some of the trim in, doing some of the other colors and stuff, and then see how it all works together. And, you know, tone down some stuff, that kind of thing.
Yeah. There'll be a point there where if it is too bright in an area, or if the color feels a bit off, you could put like a thin glaze over that area.
So, so making some progress. I think I'll probably, when I'm not busy like yapping, probably maybe another day or so.
Cool.
Call them. Yeah.
Have you got a? Is there a little bit of green in that that gray on the fur?
There is. In fact, so one of the things I was trying out with this is there's actually a tiny bit of green in the gray that's the base color. Everything on this model is one of like two or three base colors. The white is one color. What's going to be leather and the gold is another base color, and then the metal fur or the steel fur and what will be the base is all the same base color. It's all this German gray.
Okay.
So what I'm doing with the metal is going straight up to gray, but then a little bit of a colder gray, like pale gray blue, whatever.
Yep.
So it's got a little bit of green, a little bit of blue in it, and that's like the highlight color on the steel. And then the wolf's fur has some green in it. Sorry, and that'll get a little bit brighter here when I figure out how bright I want the light to be and how dark and that kind of thing. And then I'm going to start adding blue to the German gray for the rock down here that he's standing on. So it'll be more blue. Got the green up top, blue on the bottom will create some contrast there. Just give it some more color. It's not going to be like a lot, but a little.
Sure.
And then the browns will be. Space is a different base color, obviously, and it's more reddish as the base tone, and then that will get very bright where the highlights are. It's just the dark base coat, and then the gold and leather are the same base coat. It's just Rhinox hide, which I go through massive amounts of Rhinox hide, and so the leather will just go up through more reddish brown tones, and the gold just goes up through more yellow tones to create the golden MM. But yeah, I was trying to keep the palette pretty limited for like what the base, the base color. It's really that German gray.
Cool.
I want everything kind of muted, and then that'll make the tunic kind of pop too, because it's the only thing that's like radically different. Yeah.
Oh, excellent. We'll look forward to seeing some finished shots.
Yeah, I'll definitely post them up in the group when he's done. Here, and then we can test me and see if I actually hold to my objective of making this quick.
Cool.
Yeah, no, he's looking great. I like the work that you've done so far.
Thank you.
Did you see Lucafia's comment, Dave? Is that what you're laughing at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Lucafia said, "Good night, all." And Dave, you don't look a day over 16. 40 is the new 20. You're doing really awesome. So I turned 48 yesterday. So
I find that hard to believe, Dave.
Yeah, it's true. If you listen to my knees when I put down when I sit down, pop.
If you want to see my
cool
bear,
I love it.
What I ended up doing is I kind of took Jeff was talking about, and Dave, you were mentioning desaturation at the bottom of the model. Right. And I was like, hey, why don't I do that? So there's brown down here, almost to a black. but not actually, because guess what? Black doesn't happen in natural. See, I'm taking all these tips and I'm trying to use them on actually doing this model. So yeah, in person, it's obviously a bit messier. You can see it in my camera as well. He's not perfect, but it's been fun to kind of experiment with him and try, and the overall effect, I think, is very interesting and dynamic. So
that's great.
It was very fun this evening to just kind of play around with that and try and make him look more like a bear.
Yeah. That looks great.
A mythical bear. Closer, no.
Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it looks great. I think the color is like a big deal. I think like the color really helps make the model visually interesting.
Yeah.
And maybe not feel quite as monochromatic as you thought it might in the past.
Yeah, going for like a mythical color, I think definitely worked in this case to just create and make it a little bit more interesting, dynamic. It's also a lot easier to play with range of color when you're not just working with white, I find.
that generally works that way.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So yeah, we are coming to the end of our program, if you can believe it. We've already been painting for so long.
So glad I got that 1 miniature finished.
Yeah.
Honestly, I actually made more progress on this dude than I thought I was going to, so I'm kind of happy with that myself.
Woo, woo.
That's good. Definitely
good stuff. So thank you to everyone who joined us in the chat and was talking with us. Those of you who might have had to step out, thanks for joining. It was super fun just to chat, answer your questions, paint along. Special thank you to Jeff, aka RogueShader. Make sure you guys check him out on Instagram and also Twitter. Shout out. I will put just at RogueShader so people can look you.
Yeah.
Rogue, ROGUE, yes?
Yep.
That's correct.
Okay. Yeah. Just like
Why, if it's ROUGE?
Is Rouge.
RogueShader.
The RogueShader.
Good stuff. So yeah, thank you so much for joining and coming and bringing your expertise to the table. It's always nice to see what you're up to and painting and stuff like that. Thanks again, Dave, having a birthday, joining us even after your birthday.
Yeah, I know it's kind of like the what's the movie? Is it? I can't remember the name of the movie now. Where like once you turn 30.
Yeah. Dun, dun. It's all good.
What is it? It's a movie from the 70s. I'm the only one who remembers it, obviously.
We don't know, but we will be back here next week, painting Happy Luminies.
Logan's Run.
7. Logan's Run.
I actually did know that movie.
Oh,
thank you, Dave.
Your people got you.
Yep. Coming back.
We will be back in the studio, and Gretchen will also be with us. So make sure you tune in and say hello. Stop by and check out our new space. So we would love to see you there. Yep. Good evening, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.